get too hung up on reason. They just keep killing.
Jeff in Las Vegas, thank you for both of you joining me today to talk about it in a violent nature. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Do I call you Rye? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Rye, I'm Generation X. So in high school and junior high in the early 80s, I was part of the second greatest horror movement, the second golden age. I watched all the Friday the 13th. So I watched, Halloween. So when I see this and people are comparing this to Friday the 13th, I'm like, yes, of course. Why not? But it's all about the backstory. It's all about what is the director going to do that's different, that's going to amaze us. And a good horror film needs a good backstory. So can you tell us what the White Pine Slaughter is?
Well, Johnny lived amongst some loggers in the forest, and they didn't treat him too well. And I don't want to get too much in the details because it is part of the experience of finding that out as you go along the ride. But yeah, Johnny's he's got some issues. He's got some pent up anger, and you get to see it in this film.
And Andrea, this is almost totally entirely through the eyes of the slasher. It's his point of view. And boy, this movie takes its time. That's unusual for a horror film, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But I will say it was such a treat to be able to work with the camera in a new way and to be able to build the world kind of removed from it a little bit, and exciting to see how that shifts a little bit as the film goes on.
And Rye, sound is so important in this film. ASMR, ambient noise. There's just no music in this, and that's unusual for a horror film. And it gave me a whole new, like in the moment feeling in this movie.
Yeah, the sound design is fantastic in the film. It's kind of a character unto itself. Just hearing the sounds of nature, and then also the sounds of the kills and the violence and how they juxtapose against each other. It's a huge part of the film, and I think it really helps you immerse the audience in the situation and the environment that Johnny's in, and then the situations that arise.
And Andrea, shooting on location. This is a French-Canadian production. So tell me about the beautiful locations in this movie. It's almost like you have these beautiful locations and then the opposite of the horrific things going on inside of paradise.
I know, it's so funny. It was so gorgeous. We shot most of it in Sault Ste. Marie, Northern Ontario, some of it in the Kawartha region as well. But it was so funny to be in this just like gorgeous area and then have all this fake blood on the ground and like these dummies and the monster.
And right, this is an experimental horror film, isn't it? And that's not too common. We usually they just grind these out, but this is really could be defined as experimental, can it?
Yeah, it definitely can. It's a fresh new take on a classic genre that we've seen the formula, and we know this genre so well. So it's nice to see it from a different lens, a different perspective. And yeah, it's definitely experimental because nothing quite like this. There's been other films that you get to know the killer, or you see it through their eyes. But this it's a different perspective. You're not seeing through their eyes directly. You don't get to know the character specifically through talking or any of that communication, but you are attached to him through the film. So yeah, it's an experiment and something new, and I'm just happy I got to be a part of something like that.
And Andrea, was it exciting once you knew you were cast or when you had the script for the first time? Do all the actors get together and say, excited to see how they get killed in the movie? Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
It's like, what's my demise? Okay. Did that happen?
It was we did a table read of the script, but it was funny because I think, at least I didn't read it before the table read because I wanted to be surprised to see what was happening to everybody else. And it was such a joy to see everyone's reactions and their visceral feelings about it. And I will say the script was and this doesn't always happen, but I'd say like 90% of the script was accurate to what we actually filmed.
Oh, that's so cool. And also midnight selection at Sundance Film Festival this year, right? Was it great seeing it with an audience and all the reaction? It's just getting so much buzz.
Yeah, that was a surreal experience. I've always been a huge fan of the Sundance Film Festival, and it's always been this like kind of golden goose thing that I've always wanted to go to, but I didn't want to go to it without having a reason to kind of go to it. So that was just a surreal, amazing experience. And to hear the audience react in the ways that were intended with the film. There was laughter at the right spots. There was gasps at the right spots. People were, shocked and then clapping moments later. So it was just great to see that and to see it with a lot of the cast and crew there all together and everyone just being so in that moment. It was amazing.
Well, congratulations on an incredible film. Thank you for your time today, and promise me both that you're going to do horror conventions too, okay? Because we want to meet you in person.
You.
All right,
Definitely.
wonderful. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.